Hello.
Hi.
Oh, you know what I should have done? I immediately realized as upon hitting live, uh, I should have said Happy Purim somewhere,
Oh, true, true, true.
because
Yeah, I'm a cat.
otherwise they're like, why y'all have funky makeup on? Happy Purim, Chag Sameach, everybody. This I pulled this out of my butt in like 2 seconds. So if it doesn't look good, don't blame me. If it looks good, I'll take the credit. If it looks bad, just don't worry about it. And then Waffles is a kitty cat.
I'm simple, and I don't want to scratch my face and smear makeup.
This will be smeared by the end of it, guaranteed, because I did not set it with anything. For those that know makeup, he who walks in blood. What? What? Oh,
It's probably a cool villain that I don't know of in Pathfinder.
okay.
The worm that walks,
The one.
all that stuff.
The thing is that in my screen on the right, it was cut off into two lines, so I just read "He who walks." I was like, yeah, that's a title. Okay, so this is our very first proper stress test of our multi-streaming capabilities. So a couple things that'll definitely happen. So right now, the chat that you see on screen, that is just Twitch chat. There are some Twitch rules that talk about, not being able to pull in chats from different areas. So we'll have to see a little bit more about where that goes and how we're going to want to do that. But for now, that is just going to be Twitch chat. It might change in the future. But for those of you who have access to Moonbeam right now, we are live on Moonbeam, and that is super exciting. We want y'all to please check that out. Shout out to Tabletop Obscure for hanging out in Moonbeam chat. So if you guys don't mind stress testing that alongside us and kind of checking it out and seeing how it looks and feels, and if you have any suggestions at the end of it, let us know so we can make sure that everything's working smoothly. We're also streaming to YouTube at the same time, which is also very exciting. So lots of things, and let's all hope that my computer doesn't blow up.
It seems like it's doing okay.
It seems like it's doing so far so good. I like it a lot. Cool. Alrighty. So, like we said, Happy Purim. Let's get this started.
Let's get it
Started. I suppose I should go and take a look at the.
Yeah, you have my hard work pulled up.
Yeah. Rival Academies is the book we are going to be talking about today. And so I have to pull this up here. Hold on.
Rude lords, rude lords, rude lords.
Also, I have the multi-chat thing from Stream Elements, I believe, and it is not showing me YouTube chat. So I do apologize for YouTube chat. It's something that's added to the list of things I have to figure out why that's not working, but I'll try. I only have so many monitors, so we have our PDF up here that I have to look. I have chat on one side, and then I have to switch between Moonbeam and YouTube here. So let's yell at me if I forget to look at YouTube for a little bit. I'm doing my best.
It's take one. We're figuring it out.
Heck yeah, awesome. Okay, so as is always, so that anybody who's watching the VOD of this doesn't yell at me, the way we like to do this is Waffles takes a peek at the book ahead of time, and then I don't. And I wing it. No, and I get to get all of my live first impressions, which is a lot of oohing and awing over art, as is typical, and a lot of other probably very incorrect factual things that you all get to correct me on in the comments. I'm yelling at you right now, Syrup. I'm sorry.
Get yelled at by he who walks in blood.
It's true. I'm gonna see. The thing is that I can't easily pronounce the username that you use on Twitch, Drac, so I'm just gonna call you Drac.
I think it's archaic.
Okay, it's actually Mr.
Archaic.
Yeah, I think that's the correct pronunciation. Not sure how I feel about my comments being emotionally determined. That is the interesting thing about Moonbeam. So the little fun things in Moonbeam, and I will say, if you are interested in Moonbeam and you don't have an account on Moonbeam yet, first of all, they're going to jump into open beta very, very soon. So you could keep an eye, but if you want even a little bit before that, hit me up because I can get you an invite into our realm right now, technically. So we'll do that. So yes, the little tags. So one of the cool things that Moonbeam has is Pixis, our little friendly AI, I suppose, and they currently who knows. We'll let Pixis decide. Does little mood tags to each of your comments, to each of your messages, and that is just the early thing. It's going to be a lot more coming for Pixis, and I'm excited to see it. But for right now, you just get a little bit of a passive aggressive commenting from everything you comment about from Pixis. It's great. True. It's fun.
Alpha Pixis. Closed beta Pixis.
Closed beta. No, but I'm excited for where it's going to go.
Yeah, it's going to be good. We got. Keeping up with chat for you. We have Warhawk who says, "It's a me, Natalie. How are you doing, beloved syrup?"
Oh, hello.
And then we have Dantaro Danstar, reporting in for watching.
Wait. Oh, okay. Warhawk is Natalie, and okay. For a second.
Then we got Martin over on Moonbeam.
Heck yes. Okay. Ooh, this is.
I don't have access to the combined chat, so it's a little hard for me, but I'm here.
Because the combined chat's not working, neither do I.
You don't have Moonbeam in Twitch, at least?
No, I have Moonbeam on the left.
Okay.
Twitch on the right.
There's a Blanky Cat over on YouTube. I just want to say no spoilers for season 2. I haven't finished them. Thanks.
Okay. I will try to pre-warn you for any spoilers. However, I will tell you right now, one of the things that I'm very excited about here is the new Rune Lord stuff that is in Rival Academies. And as we... Did I just... I may have just said... Okay, you know what? When we get to that, we'll get to that, and I will let you know.
Rune, look.
I realized... Okay, no, I didn't spoil anything. It's great. So right now Pixis can't respond, but if Moby rolls its way into chat, then Moby can talk to us. So Moby is the little brother to Pixis that can, again on Moonbeam, that can talk to you. It listens to us, and it's a friendly little robot that I'm excited. I hope Moby shows up because I want to play around with them. So if we're suddenly talking about it, that's what that is.
I'm not 100% sure if Moby's live yet.
Moby has been jumping around different chats as far as I have seen, so we'll definitely see. But okay, let's get to some Rival Academy stuff. Actually, that's what you thought. You thought I was gonna go to.
Oh my gosh, we're never getting there.
But I forgot. There's one very important thing. Well, Waffles, when should we talk about Golem? That's the question. Now, later, a little bit.
At the end.
Ooh, okay.
I think.
All right, I'll do.
As always, stay here to get the scoop or leave and never hear from us again. No, I'm just kidding. Perfect.
Okay, then let's go into Rival Academy. So, Waffles, I don't have your wonderful notes up here. So we're going in blinds. You tell me. You tell me what all the cool things are here. So let's talk about what Rival Academies is to start off with. Across Galarian, across the world that is the Pathfinder world, Galarian, there's all sorts of different schools of magic and all sorts. So this Rival Academies talks about the Convocation. Welcome to the Convocation. The Convocation is basically, if I understand, the most prestigious schools from far and wide now come to us in our fortress city of Neurosian as the Academy of the Reclamation hosts the first international convocation, which lasts several months, which is insane if you ask me. Gathering draws together academics of magic and related traditions to exchange knowledge, both magical and cultural, and to build friendships. Let's all be friends. Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm so excited, and the art already is just mind-blowingly awesome. So as y'all know, for those that were watching our previous show, Outcast and Outclassed, that all played through the Strength of Thousands actual play, as far as we got anyways, and that takes place in the Magambia, one of the academies that we're going to talk about here. So I definitely will be focusing a lot on that because it's something that I have more knowledge of just coming into things. But if I'm sure I'll learn lots about the things that I know nothing about, whatever Waffles tells me to focus on.
Yeah. So you don't have my notes up at all?
No, because the spoilers. Do you need me to? I will.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
You're like, I put so much hard work into this, and
I put so much work into this. Okay. So we start with the convocation, which I wrote a really quick thing about it and summarized as well as I could.
Wait, now I want to read it. Hold on.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes, archaic. They are. It is good that at least the wound of the world is closed, I think, for this.
The world wound is also something that I've seen the word. I've seen the word pop up here. It's right here. There we go. Perfect. Okay, convocation. Where the most prestigious schools gather in the fortress city of Nerosian at the Academy of the Reclamation. This last several. I said all this. I got it. I got it in one.
I agree.
Okay, sick.
I was just starting there because I wrote notes for it.
Okay.
Sheesh. I think I'm going to scroll all the way down because I think what comes next in order of the book are the new backgrounds that they introduce.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So these are like the student backgrounds that you can be.
Okay, so let me go through here real quick. So you have the sponsors. While a great number of schools are sending small delegations, the convocation revolves around the 6 sponsoring schools. Okay, so not all the schools sponsor. There's 6 sponsors. And so I'm assuming we're going to learn the most about those, looking at the tabs on the right, which always I like a lot. I know it's a little bit cut off on stream here, but it kind of tells you a little bit about what you'll see in this book. So we have Rival Academies is the title. We have Welcome to the Convocation. We have the sponsors. Then we have invitees, which is probably some of the smaller schools that aren't the sponsors. Rune magic. You know we love our runes here. And running the convocation, then glossary and index. So that's a little preview of what we're going to be doing here.
Yeah.
But where is...
Backgrounds are like in the next section down. Let me see real quick.
Okay. Well, we'll go through one by one here. Look at the map. So...
Yeah. Keep scrolling. There's some good stuff to like read and stuff.
Yeah. Oh my! Look, it's an elephant. Somebody.
Oh, that's a big one. That comes into play.
Is it a live elephant? That's what I gotta know.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a school on the back of an elephant. I'm already incredibly interested.
That is one of the sponsor schools. That's all I give you.
Okay. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Magambia Housing. They're massive. I know they're a sponsor. Academy of the Reclamation. That's the host school, right?
Yep.
Kobislarni. That sounds awful as a word.
Another small spoiler for you. That is the elephant.
Well, yeah, it's labeled. So I see that.
Oh, is it? Okay.
But I read the word with my eyeballs and then I said it out loud and it sounds terrible in my mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know how y'all would pronounce it. Apologies if I butchered it.
I think it's Kobe Slarney. Like honestly.
Kobislarni. That sounds okay.
Kobe Slarney.
Oh, it sounds like Simlish. That's what it sounds like.
Oh yeah. Sims out here. I have a baby. Kobe Slarney.
Okay, what do we have? We have Kitharodian Academy Housing. That's another sponsor. The Magambia. We love. Monastery of the Unbreaking Waves. Okay, so it looks like this map is of all of the sponsors here. University of Leppenstadt. Love that. And then not a sponsor, but as equally important as all of the housing of the different sponsor academies is the brewery. I respect that.
The brewery.
And Quinn's Brewery on the map. All right. So, wait, what's that? How much willing to bet that the Elephant Academy visits the first world often? Hmm. Oh, okay. First.
Getting spoilers for my cake.
Oh, is it spoilers? Is it true?
Not really, not really. Yes, it is very true. It is part of the lore of the
Spoiler.
elephant.
Now I'm spoiled.
Spoiled.
How could you? Okay, the venue. I can imagine, especially if it's months long, that it's gonna be quite a to do here. What's up?
Let's just scroll down a little until you see, because I mean this book's long, full of amazing stuff. But until you see the beige page come up.
The beige page.
I feel like you'll want to see that and the next page. So.
All right. Welcome to the Six Schools Convocation. On behalf of the Academy of the Wait, is this the same thing I read before? No, maybe not. We extend warm greetings to you. As we acknowledge our past mistakes and pledge ourselves to a new understanding and appreciation of the magical arts, we are truly honored to host this gathering and hope that our time together will yield academic cooperation for generations to come. Each school, I'm skipping a little bit around here, accommodations, each school has its own designated area for sleeping and learning. Dining, if you're from one of the sponsoring schools, your accommodations include a dining hall or a similar space. Ooh, cool.
There's something I thought interesting there. It says the types of food served in the halls and the hours of operation vary by location.
Oh, that makes sense, per like the customs and everything. Additional dining halls staffed by locals and open to all participants and Nerosian residents are located throughout the event grounds. Types of food served in these halls and hours of operation vary by location. Cool. Libraries, I can imagine that's a huge thing.
Yup. It's all about sharing knowledge, so.
It's true. Yeah, so if you were to summarize from what you've already read, Waffles, the convocation, or rather this book as a somebody who was interested in picking it up, is this interesting for a setting that you could, start a campaign in? Is this more about just learning about the different schools so that you can use them all over the place? Because to me, it's interesting they didn't just say, okay, here are a list of schools that exist around Galarian. They made a centralized location that everybody's coming and interacting with a lot of NPCs and stuff like that. So
yeah, if I had to guess, I got one. Okay, so to answer your question, yes, I do believe, like, you could do any of them, but I believe you could actually take this book and use it as a setting book and just start a campaign. I think it would be pretty easy with all the NPCs, all the schools, all the backgrounds, everything they give you.
That's cool.
My guess is there will be an adventure path that starts here or comes here. Because it's too, like they sponsor a demon hunt. Like, I don't know, it's too, like, just everything's together to not be a campaign in my brain.
You think there's going to be an adventure path?
That at least comes through here, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. We were being yelled at to look at the emu on the right.
Yeah, I didn't realize you had double pages up. That's why I said scroll down to the next page when we were done with this. But yeah, there's an emu there.
You absolutely could. It's what they should have done with the Radiant Festival.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right, so exhibition halls open from sunrise to sunset. Sunrise, sunset. Everybody breaks that into song, which you have to do anytime you read exactly those words. A chime will indicate the opening and closing of the hall. No one's allowed to be in the hall before or after this chime unless accompanied by a welcomer. My immediate instinct, both as a player and as a GM, is to be like, okay, so who's breaking in?
So who's going there?
All right. Let's see. Schedule. Great. Demon hunting. Oh, casually. Dining hall, library, demon hunting. Although the convocation and the city of Nerosian is sponsoring a demon hunt, be mindful that it is an inherently dangerous venture. Teams can be formed up of up to 6 students, and proof of success can be turned in at the Porter's Gate in the Academy of the Reclamation. Prizes will be provided for the top teams at the end of convocation. That's actually ingenious, because it's sometimes hard, especially this is coming from having done a lot of the earlier time of the Strength of Thousands campaign, where you're really just situated on campus. To have that venue for, like, I want to fight, I want to roll initiative, I want to, on like a meta level with my players, I want some action. And this is built in. This is really awesome.
Let's duel and just not kill each other.
Ooh, interesting note from Martin. The video quality is definitely clearer on Twitch. And Twitch is like 15 seconds ahead of Moonbeam. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't think Moonbeam is up to 1080p just yet, but they're getting there.
Right. I believe that they actually talked about that. Again,
Yes.
Moonbeam is in closed beta right now, so this is all very, very good things to note. So thank you, Marion. Okay, competitions. Please compete in the spirit of learning and camaraderie. I love it. That's the immediate disclaimer. Like, looking at you, Hideaki. I know Jacob's not here, but if he was. Duels are allowed between individuals or groups provided that all efforts are taken to prevent permanent injury and a member of the convocation staff oversees the duel. Knivesies?
Yeah, I think that's a game that I don't know about.
I love the game. I don't know what it is, but I love it. Who can
Like-
tell me what Knivesies is, and if it's in this book, then I will find out.
I'll go look it up if no one can tell. While we're waiting, I do want to say Charming Ruins, thanks for the follow over on Twitch.
Oh, thank you. All right, disciplinary action. This is also necessary, unfortunately. Each delegation will follow its own traditions for all disputes and violations occurring within that delegation. All cases of intimidation or harm across delegations will be referred to a welcomer who will make inquiries and, if necessary, convene a council. Okay. Anyone ejected from the convocation will also be banished from Neurosian for the duration of the gathering. And don't come back.
All right, I have it from Pathfinder 1 wiki.
Oh, okay. All right.
The game Knivesies is a popular blood sport in lawless regions, such as the Shackles or the city of Riddleport, that counts these crime lords among its fans. The game is comprised of 2 contestants who usually check their weapons and remove any armor. They stand on opposite ends of a long, sturdy table. Their right hands are bound together, and each has an empty belt pouch tied to their sides. A single dagger is stuck in the table between them. Spectators bet. Play starts at the count of 10. It ends as soon as one contestant is knocked out, dead, or knocked off the table. Any coin is knocked off the table, and like the people that bet are putting their coins on the table, like piling around the dagger. Or all coins have been snatched up by the players.
Wait, you said if the players are knocked off the table?
It says one contestant is knocked out, dead, or knocked off the table.
Are they on the table?
They stand on opposite ends of a long, sturdy table. Right hands
they
are
do stand
bound
on
together.
top of it. Okay. So, okay. It's kind of like, this is the image in my head. It's like those dueling platforms in Harry Potter. It's just like these long platforms, basically.
Yeah. So after the game, all the coins are piled back onto the table. The winner keeps half, and the rest is split between the winning bettors.
Cool. Knivesies, my new favorite game.
Yeah. The initial move is usually a lunge for the dagger, forcing the other player to grab coins. Most games then devolve into a bloody brawl.
Tabletop Obscura, when you said it might be knife fingers, is Knivesies what was just described the same as that, or is knife fingers something different? And if it's something different, what is knife fingers?
My guess is that knife fingers is that game you play where you like spread your fingers out and try not to stab one of them.
No, that's well, maybe. But I was you say knife fingers, and I think you tape knives to your fingers and try to attack somebody.
Edward Knife Hands.
Edward Knife Fingers. Okay. Let's continue here. Let's glance quickly. Academy of all the cool people. So we know already right now we have to find the emu from Cobus Larney. Why do you make me say that name every time? I don't like it. The Magambia has some cool NPCs. Interestingly enough, not NPCs that I'm familiar with. So these are probably brand new NPCs not involved with Strength of Thousands. So that's cool. Different, and Waffles is correct. It has different names in different places. Understood. Amazing. Never play knife game with Edward Knife Fingers. All right.
True.
Also, we need to talk about the emu. Yes, I promise we'll talk about the emu. Look at them. They look so happy and professional. He has a beautiful swept back hair. Listen.
Yeah, they do come up later if you want to wait a little bit.
Yeah,
every single academy goes into their, I call them the famous peoples.
I'm excited. So looking at the pictures here, though, I will let chat pick one or two other NPCs that we will for sure focus on if it is of interest. So again, we have the top 3 from the Academy of Reclamation. We have the Emu, which we know we will look at from Cobus Larney. Kitharodian Academy. I don't know. I'm kind of interested in Tatiana. She seems like she has personality.
Okay.
The Magambia, I mean, he has purple hair, or they have purple hair, so I'm interested immediately there. Monastery.
I like Kitaja.
Kitaja, yeah. The Monastery of the Unbreaking Waves, that's a definitely interesting looking individual. Is the Emu a teacher? We don't know, Lich. We don't know. We'll find out. Stick around.
Probably some kind of upper person, because these are all like the sponsored individuals that were sent.
The Monastery of the Unbreaking Waves, I have to say, has like really like the most cool NPCs. Looking at them, I think that seems like
I agree with that.
University of Lepidstadt. Why is Terror Athlenair look like that?
Because he's got a cigarette in his mouth.
Okay. We'll find
That's
out.
the only reason.
I like. I won't try to pronounce these names. I'm looking for them though. I promise.
What are you looking for?
Oh, Ustal. Never mind. I thought that they were. Yeah, it was just a typo. I thought somebody was talking about one of the NPCs on the sheet, and I was looking for their name, but no, it's just a typo. Okay, we move forward.
Yeah, there's a lot. We're about 1/25th through the book.
All right. So what is? Well, you said ancestries. I still don't see it. We have Mendev here. Is that the location of the convocation?
Yeah, this is the location and where it's like being held and stuff, as well as like a lot of things about Mendev.
Okay.
Which I did not go far into. It's really just Pathfinder lore that's kind of built upon.
Yeah.
So if you want to read stuff like the Star Rise Spire or something, I think that might play a slightly big part. But like,
it sounds like if we mention some of the things like in the descriptions before or in descriptions to come regarding, you know, for example, why this place is demon infused and like that kind of stuff, you'll get a little bit of that history and lore of the surrounding location here. So we'll
like if you scroll down a little, there's going to be a map, and it says Sikoris and Mendev, which Sikoris is like where the world wound is and everything.
Yep. I do like in the Shudderwood that there is an image of. I'll zoom in. Look at this image of a wolf, and if it's meant to be symbolic, I'm pretending that is a lake in the shape of an outline of a wolf. Because that's what it looks like to me.
I think it's meant to say like there's lycanthropy here.
I mean,
because it's like standing, right?
Yeah, but it's on the map, and therefore there's a lake shaped like that.
Gotcha.
Okay, so yes, we will go ahead and skip this, but it's good to know that you can expand. If you do a campaign in this setting, you kind of expand past just the convocation walls and get an idea of what's going on. Bearing our scars. So I think a lot of lore here. Did you get a chance to dive into that or no?
I did not. This is a lot of lore. I read like 2 or 3 paragraphs. It is, in my opinion, too much to retain in one day.
Fair enough.
But it's really good stuff, really deep stuff.
Really rich. Okay, cool. And it definitely sounds like I'm getting the vibes, especially for like perhaps the reason that this area, this location is doing the convocation is as a way of like acknowledging the past of this land and moving forward. At least that's the vibes I've gotten from a few of the things that I've glanced at here. Oh, look. Darlock, dark fur. So cute. I want to pet him. All right, so we will move onwards to introductions to the sponsors. Again, Waffles, just really quick, what were we talking about with backgrounds?
It's right down here. It's after these pages.
Okay.
So like the next page is gonna go in and like start talking about the schools, which it does again later. If that makes sense. So yeah, literally you have a convocation background if you scroll down one more page from where you are.
Okay, I went back just because there was a question from Lich. Was that a duck bear? No, it's not. It's just a bear with feathers.
It's like a lion bear.
It's like an owl bear?
It's a weird owl bear, yeah. It's a bear owl.
It's a bear owl, not an owl bear. Understood. I kind of want to poke. I won't. If you want to find out, get the book. All right. So yes, I do see here now. Backgrounds, special uncommon backgrounds are presented for the campaigns that take place at the convocation and are optionally tied to the sponsor schools. That's really cool, especially if you potentially are doing other things involving the schools, like the Magambia setting. Very cool.
Yeah. And or if you're gonna like use this to start a campaign, which I think you could easily do, then all of these would be amazing.
So, okay, also interesting to note from Tabletop Obscura is so Rival Academies also serves as an update to what's going on in and around the healed world wound based on the lore and stuff like that. So because we haven't kind of prefaced with what's been going on, we won't go into that, but that is very good context and I very appreciate that. So thank you. Okay, so we mentioned these already. So let's talk about briefly what each of the schools are.
We're gonna go into them again later too. So,
okay, so
but you can, and we can skip that later if you'd like.
Yeah, I think let's do that because there's a nice little just summary here of each one.
Yeah.
So Academy of the Reclamation, our host school here, straddles many possibilities and tensions between Sarkorus's past and future. Most controversially, the new academy seeks to form a Sarkorian school for wizards, despite studies of the arcane arts long being forbidden in Sarkorus. Very interesting. This also preserves ancient arts that have survived the devastation caused by the Outer Rifts, including the Campfire Chronicler archetype, recently rediscovered thanks to the spirit of a fallen Sarkorian storyteller. Cobus Slarney. I hate it every time it comes out of my mouth, y'all. Is the silent headmaster of the school that shares his name. Oh, I'm so sorry. Carried
You're butchering
on
his name.
It's the elephant. The elephant is Cobus Slarney. I'm so sorry. I've offended the wonderful elephant. Okay.
We found out something I didn't know from Tabletop Obscura. Moonbeam Chat supports Markdown.
Oh.
Like the live chat, which is kind of cool.
That is very nice. Oh, I think I saw that in one of the changelogs. That's actually awesome. I forgot about it, though. Cool. Don't cancel me.
Cancel Syrup.
Don't cancel me.
Syrup's canceled.
All right. So, the Wandering Academy. I love this. This might be my favorite academy right now. The Wandering Academy moves through the first world. How did I ever guess that? The unfinished realm of the Fae, where reality has a loose grasp and only agreements can be trusted. The headmaster offers contracts as a witch's patron to a select few, while many more take advantage of his wanderings to find appropriate familiars. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So it's like a witch school.
Almost, yeah. They definitely, each school kind of definitely revolves around a certain types of stuff.
Types of classes.
And this one is definitely into the occult more.
The scholars who live atop his back also provide lessons for pact binders who wish to form agreements with mysterious fae patrons. It's like, child, you want to be a witch. Let me do it safely. Do it through us. We'll make sure you're safe. That's fascinating. I think if I had known about Cobus Slarney for O&O, it would have made an appearance. I think that's very, very cool.
It would have just leveled Magambia and we'd have had to leave on Cobus Slarney.
Oh, I love it. All right, Kitharodian Academy holds the embers of Taldor's greatness close as its home empire slips slowly into decline. The Academy's performers, skilled in the theatrics of stagecraft as well as the tactics of spycraft, have devised new performance items to delight audiences and baffle observers. So you can get an idea that we're going to get some of those things. Their most dedicated thespians also learn Kitharodian actor archetype, bringing the nuanced shades of Taldor's storied history into every role they play. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, that's kind of up there now in one of my favorite schools. The Magambia, the only.
This is the one I'm gonna jump in on because of playing Outcast and Outclassed. I so wish we had this book and what they came up with for the Magambia when we played it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think in terms of Strength of Thousands, again, it is an actual play. Not that this is really what this is about. It does not nearly get into what the Magambia is and does
Yeah.
on its own. Like, you needed the Mwangi Expanse book, in my opinion,
Yeah.
to play that adventure path. And now with this, I'm thinking that kind of like finishes fleshing all of the details out in a way that really would be helpful.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so the Magambia brings hard-earned wisdom from the jungles of the Mwangi Expanse. As alumni of one of Galarian's most established magical academies, in the perspective of reading all these other schools, I'm now like, oh, okay, the Gambia is like those people. Everybody comes in and everyone's just like, okay, there they are.
There's the Magambia.
Amazing.
There's the champions for the last 20 years.
Yep. I'm just checking on YouTube chat. Apologies. All right, so then, as alumni of one of the Galarian's most established magical academies, Magambians have developed the School of Rooted Wisdom. Oh, okay, that wasn't a thing for me.
It was not. That's one of the things I was talking about.
A flexible wizard school adapted from the Academy's 5 branches. The Magambia's Masters of Halcyon
I think it's Halcyon.
magic will also share new storytelling spells that draw on the tales of their homeland. I'm curious with that if it is the same one that in one of the books of the APs that's in the back of one of the books, or if it's something new. The Monastery of the Unbreaking Waves trains monastic warriors from Jalmaray with unique approaches to emulate the perfection of water. These techniques, which were long thought lost, include new feats for monks to channel the wave's tenacity and dynamism. Additionally, the resurging Maelstrom hybrid study, oh, that sounds sick, allows a magus to evoke broken weapons' tide-swallowed glories, turning shattered swords and splintered spears into tools of elemental power. Sick?
Super sick. Hello, Eric.
Hello. Magambia, yes, yeah, that's accurate. The University of Lepidstadt hones the skills and talents of tireless and doubtlessly macabre students who seek to specialize in surgical arts and tinkering with crackling coils. Oh, yes, I like it already. It showcases gadgets of special interest to inventors, and their medical students can plunge their hands deep into the Lepidstadt surgeon's bloody craft. I love the imagery there. I just imagine them plunging their hands into like bodies.
Yeah. Lepidstadt's, it's something.
Is it?
Yeah.
Does it have any connection to Cheliax at all?
Not that I read.
Interesting. Or no, what's the other, the steampunk setting in Galarian? Whoever in chat can remind me. I appreciate you. There's now an alternative to folklore. Oh, yes.
Alkenstar.
Alkenstar, thank you. I wonder if they're Alkenstar or something.
Again, not that I read, but maybe.
This archetype allows doctors to bring an unexpected vitality to flesh and bone through the symphony of Stachian capacitors and immaculate scalpel work. Sexy.
Bum. They're at Ustalav.
Ustalav, thank you.
Says our chat who is smarter than us.
Thank you, Trek. Outside the convocation. All right, so and then of course we have other schools as well. Oh, the most prominent of other schools are the Sahedron Spires from New Thassalon. I wonder who they are.
Huh.
All right, I'm done.
Whoever thought there was a school of... That's all. Yep. I got beeped out. Sorry. I tried.
Oh, yeah, you tried, and then it just kind of... it's an interesting place politically. I will have to deep dive a little bit more into Ustalav. I think we almost played a campaign there, but it never panned out, so I never deep dived into Ustalav. All right, here are the backgrounds that we've mentioned a little bit from each of them. Anyone stand out, Waffles?
None of them stand out from each other. The two things I really like they did. So one thing I really like they did with this book is a lot of the things you pick. So like if you're going to pick one of these backgrounds, every single one says you're trained in, so like Ghostwriter says, you're also trained in scribing lore skill or a lore skill associated with your school. So if you happen to be of the Magambia school, you can take Mwangi Expanse lore or storytelling lore in place of that other lore. And they did a lot of that in this book.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, that's real cool. And then to answer your question, Party Scholar was just like fun. I don't think any of them stand out mechanically from each other, but that one seemed like what most people
Cool
would
flavor.
want.
All right, let's look at Party Scholar. Perhaps because you already achieved what you wanted at school or your position makes you invulnerable, you've begun to pour your efforts into a lifestyle of hedonistic excess. I have so many thoughts for NPCs.
Yep. I mean, this is
From
Chizire, probably.
O&O. The fact that the convocation isn't a months-long party might thus come as a rude shock to you, but your skill at deflecting blame and making fast friends might mitigate that. Y'all know exactly what NPC I'm talking about. Choose 2 attribute boosts, and then you're trained in deception. You're also trained in the alcohol lore skill or lore skill of your suit. Cool. You gain the charming liar skill feat.
Yep.
Amazing.
And that's the picture down there is the Party Scholar.
Respect. Although, why do they look like they came from Alice in Wonderland?
That's a great question. Like why you fold it up like that? Like a Party Scholar definitely wouldn't be creasing their pants like that.
What if they were these were all spell scrolls and they just have like a bunch of folded up like pages of little books and all over them, and they're like, oh, it's fashion, guys, but it's not.
Hey, Obscura, thank you for the 50 moonstones.
Oh, thank you so much. I love how they highlighted it in chat and when you give moonstones.
Yeah,
really
nice. That's nice.
All right, cool. Okay, wait, what's Ghostwriter? While you enjoy scholastic success, you lack either academic aspirations or academic integrity. That's so mean. And you instead conduct your illicit business of ghostwriting at your school. When desperate students and staff bedeviled by deadlines or quotas seek your services, their academic legitimacy is undermined by your expertise in ghostwriting and forgery. That's really nice flavor for a lot of these. I like this a lot, honestly.
The convocation is a treasure trove of new clients and inspirations for someone of your particular skill.
From chat, Vanim says the scroll is a funny idea but gets sketchy if you start using too many. Yes, this is somebody trying so hard to be like, no, I don't have too many spell scrolls, like I'm just, this is just my outfit. But it's very clearly like, all right, buddy. The thing that from a mechanical / like using it as a player standpoint, my brain goes, so it says at first level when you create your character you gain a background, right? So they show a variety of individuals who study or work in or otherwise represent the different academies. So my brain goes, though, but if you're just going to school, so like looking at the Strength of Thousands campaign or something like that, you might not, like, if this is a background that comes from somebody, like, it's good for NPCs, it's good for a lot of those things, but it's not one where you're starting school, because all of these come from a place of like, oh, this is how you are at school and that's your background. So that's
I think so. Yeah. It could be like the only thing you could do is be like, well, I was in school before this and I'm transferring to the Magambia.
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah. I see what you're saying.
All right. Ooh, pretty. I love whoever just graffitied all over the walls over here. All right. So Academy of Acclamation. So now we're going to, looks like these sections are one for every academy, and obviously we don't have the time for all of them, so
yeah, these are the ones I wrote up the quick things about. If you want to pull up notes and read those and latch onto something, or I can read them, but you're a better reader than I am.
Well, we did kind of do a little bit of everybody already.
A little bit, but mine at least goes into what new mechanics they bring and like why they're there and stuff.
I like that. So we'll do that, and then we'll focus a little bit more on some of the ones that we want to and the NPCs that we find and things like that. So Academy of Reclamation. Looks like from here we get goals focused on reclaiming Sarkoris, which is, healing the scar in the world wounded area. They are also hosting the convocation. Some of their famous people, I don't know if I can jump to, pretty.
Yeah, they give a breakdown of the people as well, which is like multiple pages long. They went hard on this book.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's awesome, but obviously we're not going to. I read Conspirators Cookie, and I'm already interested, but the famous people is Diara, Romaine.
Wait. right above Diara, I want you to read Spice Demonade real quick.
Oh, okay. Okay, so these are all like what items that are.
Yeah, these are two items that just like come from this place, and like each school kind of has some of their items, but
Because each school
I
has
love
like a
this one.
not necessarily a marketplace, but what they can bring to the convocation and what that people might get from
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And what they're sharing with other schools is like, hey, we have this knowledge here.
Okay, spiced demonade. There, so held in one hand, one action, manipulate. There are some who claim that the original version of this tart red drink contained the ground skin of actual demons, but in truth, spiced demonade was created by a first-year academy student desperate to look awake and alert after a night of carousing. Where oh god, I'm blanking on his name right now. Chizira. Where is Chizira when you need him? After consuming spiced demonade, you ignore all effects and penalties from the consumption of alcohol and lack of sleep for 1 hour. These effects resume when the spiced demonade wears off. You become temporarily immune to spiced demonade for 24 hours. It's a hangover cure. I love it.
It's a hangover. It's a temporary hangover cure, and it's 8 gold, which I thought was wild. Actually, I thought that was very expensive for what it is. But I guess like you wake up with a hangover and you got to get that 30-minute presentation. Here you go.
Tabletop Obscura mentioned Pocket Library, so I want to look at that real quick. Again, we're not going to be able to stop with every NPC, but we'll stop on the really cool ones. So it looks like every NPC might bring to the table an item or a spell based on what is unique to them. And you can probably read flavor. The connection from them with this. But let's talk Pocket Library. So this is apparently a remaster update of an existing spell. So for anyone who's familiar with the pre-remastered stuff, let us know what you think. Like Vilceral, you collect information from all around you and store it in book form in an extra-dimensional library. Oh, I do remember this spell. When you cast this spell, choose any skill which you are at least trained that has a recall knowledge action. During the duration of the spell, you can call forth a tome, etc., etc. Part of the recall
Part of a free action to recall knowledge, yeah.
Free hand to do so. Tome appears in your hand. +1 status bonus to the recall knowledge check. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem all that different. And I don't know if anybody knows exactly what is different, but it makes sense to me.
Yeah, and this is when we're getting into the big stuff that I figure you want to actually dive into a little.
Sure.
So like under these pages.
Martin goes, ugh, I got a phone call. What did I miss? Oh, Syrup was canceled while I was gone. What else is new? What am I not? I like the one that gives you the additional lore, says Drac. Additional lore skill feat. That's an underrated skill feat. It is. It actually is.
I would also spend $8 on a temporary hangover cure.
I would. I mean, I don't drink, but I would still. Really just the formatting. Okay, that's what's different in regards to the Pocket Library. Cool. All right. And I do apologize for everyone watching the VOD. I know that all the different chats, now that we're multi-streaming, are on the overlay. We'll figure out how we want to do that. But when we stream Golem, our new Pathfinder and Starfinder actual play coming real soon, you'll find out if you stick around. We won't really have chat in there, so hopefully that won't be too disturbing. But
yeah, and in the future, hopefully we're gonna figure out how to fix it a little bit.
Yeah. So this is the area you said the Reclamation Wizards part?
Yeah, so this, like, every school also brings something like big to the game.
A school that you can pick for wizardry, right?
Not every school doesn't do that, but yes, the School of Reclamation is a subclass for wizards, and then it also brings an archetype after that too.
Oh, very cool.
So like this is a legit subclass for wizards to pick now.
I love that. I think that was one of the biggest things that I was waiting for from the remaster with the wizardry, because obviously that like had the biggest impact, and I liked the base spell or schools that they gave for the wizards, but I love that it had such a potential for so many versions of this and a lot of homebrew and things like that. So yeah, with this, I love that there's going to be even more to pick from. I think that's going to be great.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can read a little about the School of Reclamation if you want, whether from my notes, which is super small, or the book.
yeah, magic. So it looks like School of Reclamation is magic focused on reaching the world's lost and forgotten places and bringing their knowledge back to the surface. I think that's a very flavorful one. I like it. Um,
You get spells like mental map. It's like 2 actions, but you can you glean detailed information about a specific place visited by a creature directly from its mind, and then you can gain like bonuses to recall knowledge about that place. So,
This sounds like
an owlbear's cave. Like,
sounds like a class that you should take if you want to piss off a GM who has not prepped enough.
yes.
I love it. Excellent. All right, let's Campfire Chronicler is the archetype for this. So follow Istrale,
Which is it's like an old god.
dedicated to protecting and assisting travelers in return for a story of their journey. You know what's interesting about this is I feel like it quite overlaps on some pretty big motifs in the Magambia. They're all about storytelling and I suppose certain areas of the Moagi Expanse as well. So that's very interesting that's for their home. But I guess the Magambia has so much already. Can't have everything.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine anyone that's going out into the world looking for magic is probably a storyteller.
Yeah. Cool. So it's basically, though, the same flavor as the school of magic or for wizardry, or is this thematically different? It's also about storytelling and kind of finding.
The Campfire Chronicler, in my opinion, is thematically different. It's probably the only one that doesn't like super fit the school in the entire book. I think it's kind of a standalone thing, and it looks like I would say they put a lot of work into this compared to some other things.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of feats and everything else. So.
Cool. Flickering stories. That sounds so cool. Stories like fires can create I'm just jumping into like a level 8 or a rank 8 feat. Stories like fires can create shadows as much as they illuminate. When you offer a story, you can become concealed by shifting shadows for the duration instead of the normal benefits. The action then gains the shadow trait. You can't use this concealment to hide as normal for concealing effects that leave your location obvious. The creature you share a story with can choose this benefit even if you do not. This is so cool.
Yeah.
Man, I want to low-key play a witch with this archetype.
This is one of the few archetypes I've seen that like you could build a character around rather than the archetype just kind of helping your character.
It's very, very flavorful.
Yeah.
It is time for Cobus Larney.
Kobe Schlarney.
Cobus Larney. I can't.
Duval, thanks for the resub.
Hi. Jacob, we've already called out Hideaki and you weren't here, so just saying. Also, I did not know that Cobus Larney, our favorite word of the day, which has a third eye, has an eye on the middle of their trunk.
Yeah.
So if I was, let's do this for Jacob, since Jacob just showed up in chat here. Cobus, that one, I just really don't want to say it again. This school is also the name of that elephant. And basically, they travel through the first world. Let me know if I'm doing a good job on this recap, Waffles. They travel through the first world, which is basically like the Fae, and help. It's a school for witches, basically. And that giant traveling school elephant can also be your witch patron if you wish, as well as they will help you make pacts with other fae beings if you wish to do so in a way that's a little less dangerous to you. I don't know, maybe it's just as dangerous. Good. That part I made up.
No, I think that was a very good take.
Awesome. All right. Let's actually go through some of this stuff then. That's so cool. So this is written in his voice.
Yep.
Well, not.
From the top, is it written in his voice still?
Before I could, you saying like right before that?
Yeah, this is not in his voice is what I'm saying, sorry.
Oh, okay, understood.
It says, but for the purposes of this convocation, I am Zimnade, which is the acting headmistress, I'm pretty sure.
Understood. I am Zimna.
As you see
Okay,
right
okay. I literally just if I read 2 more sentences. Excellent. All right, so we will not go too far into all of this because again we have plenty to go through. What are these on the side here? Interesting.
Paizo's best footnotes. I love Paizo's footnotes, honestly.
Wait, where are you looking? Sorry, what?
You said what do we have on the side here? Talking about like the blue stuff.
Yeah.
I said it's just Paizo's best footnotes.
Yes. Anaphaeus Imbrex the twins, said to serve as the literal foundation of Anaphaeus, also figured in the stories of Sarkoris. It looks like just some deity like things, or maybe just side things that are relevant to the words that we're not reading. So that's probably why it makes no sense. All right.
Yeah.
Advisory notice to Cobus Larney. Students and faculty of Cobus Larney, I've been asked by Headmistress Nemison to pass along the following cautions and expectations regarding our trip to attend the 6 schools convocation in Erosian. Please do keep in mind... Whoa, my voice. Where'd it go?
You've been cursed by Cobus Larney.
Because I keep messing up their name, I know. Okay. Please do keep in mind these points so we leave a good impression with our colleagues. The universe is not mutable. Do not attempt to shape your surroundings unless you've consumed a shaping suite beforehand, and even these changes will be extremely minor no matter your level of shaping acumen. Universe time moves on a strict linear progression. You will each be issued a timepiece that tracks the hours in the local area. Please monitor this carefully to ensure you're quote-unquote on time for scheduled events. Don't sign up for multiple concurrent seminars. You will not be able to attend them all. This is hilarious to me.
Because they're coming from the first world. I think
They're
quite
coming.
funny.
We're like, what? Time is time. Many of our fellow academics at the convocation will worship deities, as these entities have much greater influence outside of the first world. Curiosity and discussion are fine, but take care to avoid disparaging or mocking a colleague's faith. Be advised that death is final here. Take extreme caution in your activities. If you are uncertain whether an activity would cause death, please consult a universe colleague. This pleases me.
Yeah, this is like the best explanation of like we're not from Galarian that I've ever heard, I think.
Yes. Lastly, on a less serious note, universe comestibles flavor are rather muted. Take this into account when preparing food or brewing coffee or tea. If victuals are provided to you, you may wish to add seasoning, provided you can do so without offending your host. I love Cobus Larney so much.
It's a good one. You could probably just, I made that big animal world, but you could probably just host a campaign off Cobus Larney.
Yeah,
Like,
I actually really. So I was saying earlier that like if this existed when I was running O&O, they would show up. They would just show up. They would just exist. I need them in that story. It's perfect, and we'll see if we can find other ways.
I'm all jumping here to say thank you for the sub, Dan.
Thank you.
Or Dontail Bloodborne. I thought that was the other Dan.
I'll probably continue to call you Dan if that's okay. You can yell at me. I could call you Blood if you prefer.
Bloodborne.
So it looks like each section, and I missed this in the first one. I'll jump real quick just to confirm that they have that section in here.
I don't think they all have that type of section.
They have a rivalries section.
They do all have a rivalry section, yes.
I do kind of, just because for the tea, maybe that's the one thing I do glance at for each of these schools, because we like the tea. We like to know what rivalries they have. And just at a quick glance, so we're jumping back to our hosts here of the convocation.
I'm going to put my hand up here real quick as a co-streamer.
Yeah. Am I going to take too much time if I do that?
We're an hour in and we're on school 2.1 out of 6 and we have Rune Lords.
All right, fine. Good. This is why you don't let the ADHD one run anything based off of time. Fine.
We can't read the entire book to chat. I'm
sorry.
sorry.
But it's cool.
Cancel me.
Yeah. Why is it always me? Cancel Waffles too, okay?
I'm uncancelable.
Though I would hate to disparage any of my learned colleagues, let's just... Alright, I can't. Fine.
Read some of my stuff.
Okay. What do we got? We got Founder is an elephantine, though larger than most elephants, goals focused on supernatural.
Yeah, so the school's goals are kind of focused around the supernatural.
The occult, if you will. brings the Echo repository as a gift. Oh, let's look at that. We're right here. For the benefit of the convocation, Kobuslarni has graciously granted all attendees access to the Echo repository, one of many extra-dimensional stores of knowledge he maintains. Sick. So what does that mean exactly?
I mean, literally, Kobe Slarney is like a magical, almost godlike entity. Has a bunch of extra dimensional stores of knowledge, and he's opening this one to other students because it's the convocation.
Do they go into it looking at this picture? Like,
yeah,
you just kind of jump into his third eye and be like,
there's like rules for it. Like you have to ask him, and he'll like lower down his trunk and like let you in and stuff like that.
that is so cool. Put simply,
it's not like they took advantage of this creature. Like this creature is knowing every single thing that's happening. Like,
put simply, it is a library of knowledge forgotten by those of the universe, books that no mortal remembers reading, nameless creatures that none now walking on any planet have seen, inventions and rituals that have never seen the light of day. All these things are somehow gleaned by Kobuslarni, plucked from forgotten dreams and placed in the Echo. I can imagine this is huge for people that like are maybe like they're infiltrating the convocation, and they're like, I just need to get in here, but they're also worried that like their intent will be like known, so they have to try to get into this and get out in like a heist format. Like I want to run like a heist one shot of this.
A heist into the convocation.
A heist into the convocation, into this pocket realm of this massive elephant. I think that'd be sick.
This is my favorite thing, though. Kobe Slarney did not create the Echo, and if he knows who or what did, he hasn't said. He is merely one of its stewards, allowing in scholars who seek it, for there is a conundrum in the Echo's existence. A creature must know what they seek to find it. A creature must know what they seek to find it within the archive. But if someone in the universe knows a piece of information in too much detail, it would not be in the Echo.
Oh, that's cool. I think there's so much flavor here. That's very, very cool. Quick answering of questions from chat. Jacob's asking, first of all, Martin says, Leslie Knope won't let me cancel Waffles. Speaking of, we still need to get Waffles to watch that. It's one of my favorite TV shows. Parks and Rec.
That's a long one, though.
Yeah, but still worth it. Jacob asks, I need to know why there is a Necco waffles and a cell shading syrup. Because it's Purim. Chag Sameach. Happy holiday. It is Purim. Purim is our holiday of eat, drink, and be merry, which is a lot of things, to be fair. But we retell the story of Megillat Esther and a whole bunch of stuff, but part of it, as how we celebrate it today, is by dressing up. It is our dress up holiday. So this was my 2 quick seconds before going live, and that's why it's a bit of a mess, but you know, it's cool.
Yep. It's not my cat.
Another thing I'm learning on the Gentile fly. Love it.
Welcome to Gentile Airlines.
If it helps, Waffles, you can skip season 1. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that, actually. Thank you.
I forgot they had a season 1.
No, I forgot that it was one that was, season 2. It's like season 2 is where it gets really, really good. Nobody panic. I scrolled down, and I saw the emu in a jacket, in a nice little suit. So, fair warning, it's Ibu time for anybody that... Track.
That is one of the famous peoples.
So, given that, is there anything else? I think we're good with...
Not really. There's some small items and stuff. I didn't think they were amazing, and you can scroll down to the famous people. Morale.
We have new witch patron, which is Kobuslarni, a new calligraphy worm familiar, a new Mockingjay familiar, a new... Okay, just wasn't sure if that was a spell.
I think it's Mocking Fae, actually. I think I mistyped.
And then a new Pathfinder archetype. Cool.
You'll be able to see them down when you scroll. So.
But first, our stern male awakened emu researcher. Oh, look at the suit. He's impeccable. Get it? Impeccable.
Yeah.
I'll be here
Canceled.
all night.
Everyone attack Syrup in Discord, please.
No. All right, let's see. What's amazing thing about him? He has mnemonic feathers. Burrow crafted these feathers to assist in remembering information. A mnemonic feather is an emu feather imbued with magical energies. You can place the mnemonic feather in a book with an interact action. As long as the mnemonic feather remains within the book, you recall information contained within that book perfectly as you were reading the page, as long as the book is in the same plane as you. When you attempt to recall knowledge about a topic contained within the book, you gain a +1 status bonus to the check.
I thought this was very interesting because a lot of wizards with like 18 intelligence would say they could just do this.
Yeah. I have conflicting feelings about it, to be honest, because of it's a rank 3 item. Or an item 3.
It's because it doesn't get used, I believe. It's not a
I suppose it's a reaction active. Well, no, a lot of things are. It just
it's not a consumable though, I guess is what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it just feels very, very specific. It needs prep time. It needs a lot of things to come together for it to be something that you need. But when it comes together, it could be really cool.
I know. What if you slid that feather and like you didn't have a chance to read a pirate captain's logbook and you just slip a feather in there?
That's true. But
like there's some good infiltration stuff. I think that's all it's really good for.
Okay, I thought it faded or something, but I might be misreading. I might have been thinking about something else. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I was told by Tabletop Obscura, okay, but check out his backstory. So I guess we have to look.
Okay.
Enterprising third eye student they're a student. Okay. Another Kobastarni attendee whom I'm sure many of you will meet is Murrow. Or however you want to pronounce it. An enterprise.
Murrow.
Murrow. All right. An enterprising third eye student who adeptly balances his time between his thaumaturgical studies and teaching. Of course, because he has the same fucking outfit as our other thaumaturge from O&O. Ignacy. What if this is just Ignacy turned into
Ignacy had slick back hair too, right?
This is literally Ignacy's brother at this point.
Ignacy emo.
Yeah, no.
Not to be confused with Ignacy emo.
Of course. I suspect Moreau will be easy to spot among the convocation. He's an awakened emu, 6 feet in height. To ensure he doesn't get confused with the more mundane varieties of avian, he always wears a 3-piece suit, so he should be easy to distinguish from any eidolons or familiars in attendance. He gained sapience after wandering into the Quickening, a strange first-world region that mutates anything that sets foot there, and found his way to Kobastarni shortly thereafter, hoping the Academy might help him understand his new state of being. After discovering a taste for the academic life, he formally enrolled, providing an astute scholar in blending thaumaturgy with pact binding. That is awesome. Oh, he's also a teacher, is what it seems like. Very interesting.
A student and a teacher.
Well, aren't we all students of... Okay, I'm done. That is awesome. Okay, he's wonderful. All right, we move forward. Kobastarni witches. I think we talked a little bit already of a lot of these things. Mocking Fae, that's what it was. That you were talking, that you mistyped. That's okay.
Yeah, I mistyped it slightly.
Tiny Fae with heads of humanoids. That's scary.
Yeah. So they bring in a lot of focus spells, a lot of familiar type things. I think Kobastarni is actually a pretty cool patron.
I think so. Oh, let's take a look at what kind of their shtick is.
Yeah, just the lesson of the wandering mind probably is the biggest thing.
Kobastarni has taught you to keep an open mind and seek knowledge in all things, sifting through an array of facts and others that others would find bewildering. You gain the information overload hex cantrip, and your familiar learns deja vu. Where is the information overload?
Right down. It's like literally right under here.
Okay, thank you. You call on Kobastarni to open the target's mind to knowledge, too much knowledge. The target's thoughts flood with irrelevant and confusing information, causing it to become Stupefied 1 if it fails a will save, or Stupefied 2 on a critical failure. Sustained up to a minute. That's awesome.
I think that's pretty cool. You can be like anti-wizard hex.
And then greater witch lessons that are unique to Kobastarni, like unravel knowledge, censor falsehoods, like a knowledge-based patron. Very cool. I think that's very
cool. Very cool. And then I'm gonna ask you to read a little bit about this, maybe just like 2 or 3 sentences. The pact binder, because It's everything that Grizz was. So
Oh, Pathfinder. Okay.
yeah, this is literally Grizz, and I'm so glad they make an archetype for it.
For the audience and all those here, Grizz is the wizard from D&D that is the character that Waffles played when I first met him. So Grizz has a special place in my heart. So I'm definitely.
She fell in love with Grizz before me.
Yeah, a little bit. Pact binding, often misunderstood and maligned as swearing fealty to dark forces, is a magical discipline followed by individuals in many cultures. A pact binder knows how to bargain with strange entities, whether benevolent, malevolent, or unconcerned with morality altogether. It is, Chris. And arrange these deals so they gain more than they pay. While a few pact binders devote themselves to a single pact, most collect an array throughout their lifetime, making deals with various beings as suits their needs. Magical contracts, though not formal metaphysical pacts, are also commonly used among pact binders. Both offer benefits paired with drawbacks or obligations, and the skills required to obtain a good pact are similar to those required to negotiate an advantageous contract. Without proper training and planning, pact binders can find themselves locked in a truly dangerous contract. That's so cool. Is this a archetype?
It's an archetype, yeah.
So we gotta make Grizz and Cosmet in Pathfinder now properly.
I guess so. Yeah. I'm down.
Pact of Huldra's renewal. So
the only thing I didn't get, and maybe it's a typo, maybe my brain's off the rocker. I don't even know how to say it. You have all the prerequisites are pact binder dedication. I guess, okay, Pathfinder Dark Archive. So they had a pact binder dedication prior, and they're adding a bunch of packs. I couldn't find the Pathfinder dedication, so I was getting confused.
Gotcha. Okay, then I think Dark Archives was when we were deep in O&O, so that's why we never did like a proper stream on it, never did a deep dive.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You get a Pact of the Rune Dragon, though.
Where's that?
Level 16. Feet 16.
Oh. Wait. The Rune Dragon is somebody who went through the new dragons with the remaster. Was Rune Dragon there? Did it exist? Or is this new-ish? Because now I'm curious.
It's a good question.
It is unfair to other games that Pathfinder 2e art's so satisfying. Yeah, I agree.
True.
Look at the little guy. Look at him. He's just a little guy. That's so cute.
We try to call that skill difference, but
skill issue. Kid Third. Okay, let's jump a little bit. I don't know that we'll be able to do every single academy here, so
we'll do my fastings for every single academy.
Okay, all right. Kitharodian Academy. So bards and performers here, thespians. Academy trains performers in the classical ballads, historical dramas, and mythological epochs that Taldor's bards are known for. I can easily see this being a wonderful base for your bards. They have a play called Wrath of the Righteous.
Yeah.
Which is a adventure path, y'all. That they will reenact as a present for the convocation.
Also a video game. But yeah.
Yeah, also a video.
Yeah, that's basically their present since they're performers. They're like, here, this is what happened during this time, the adventure path of Wrath of the Righteous, and we reenact it. Woo!
That's cool. I love it. It's just like our gift to you. It's not items or, magical trinkets. No. It's our acting. I love it.
You'll enjoy our stories.
Ooh, that's a Clockwork Lion, if I've ever seen one.
Y'all.
This is I will glance at the rivalries of this with the Magambia. As for the Magambia crowd, they seem like a talented crew, but some of my peers don't trust them. Probably because they've listened to Lord Meriwether Stokes' words of the Emerald Bow spies way too much. Who cares if they're actually spies? I personally have nothing to hide, but I'm not going to go up to them and make myself look like a buffoon by saying something like, "Hello, fellow school for spies." Wait, fellow? So are they also spies?
Yep. I mean, remember this was the we're stagehand and performers, but we also delve deep into spying and stuff.
I will say, looking at this picture here, like, if that's their plays where they put like these constructs together fueled by magic and all sorts of things to like enact monsters, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'd go to that play. Cool. That seems cool.
I don't know much on the lore, so maybe chat can help or YouTube comments or whatever, but they remind me a lot of a house in Dune that were just like known for being very like performance but deception and like get in.
Interesting. These are the two interesting NPCs that we have. Excuse me as I die with my voice here. It's all just another. Okay, I literally, the first line I read is, I suspect it's all just another front for spycraft anyway. So yes, very much so. Bards, thespians, and spies. I think that's very cool. We shan't go too much into it. But they do also have a whole bunch of performance items. I think that's super cool. So all very cool, flavorful items that y'all could throw into your campaigns or ask your GM for. Like a weapon of false wounds, which I love, which makes it look like an illusion. For these weapons consist mostly of illusions, except in the spots where the weapon would be held. A sword, for example, would consist of only a physical handle, with the permanent illusion of a blade. And then it's like a fake blade, a fake weapon.
Yep.
Got it. What if you thought you were holding your weapon of false wounds and somebody had changed it out to a real one and you murdered your classmate? Story idea. Yep. Let's go.
Story idea. I almost said something that I shouldn't have, so I'll keep it to myself.
No.
I'll put it in the Discord.
Okay. So then you have your actor archetype, Kitharodian actor archetype. I do feel like it's very Roman Colosseum / theatrics inspired here, which is kind of cool. We won't go too much into it, I think, just for time, but very, very cool, honestly. Oh, look, if it's not the Magambia. However, did we wind up back here? Rune dragons are not in the monster core, if it helps. Okay, thank you, Tabletop Obscura. That was what I was thinking about. So now I kind of glanced ahead. I know I said I didn't look at this, but I did kind of look at the Rinlord stuff, and I didn't see it listed there. So I now need to know more about rune dragons. Somebody tell me where I can find that. That would be awesome. All right, the Magambia. How does this fit? First of all, right off the bat, how does this fit with Strength of Thousands? This section is written without any reference to the Strength of Thousands adventure path because this material is designed to apply either before or after those events. So for anybody who is worried about spoilers for season 2 and stuff like that, this part, the Magambia part, won't be, and I will try, if I end up talking about any spoilers, I'll try to let you know ahead of time. But it also means that there are some new NPCs that we could have totally, if you're going to be running Strength of Thousands, you can pull from here. There's a lot of really cool things. We know a lot about the Magambia as a school, so we won't talk too much about that. But I am fascinated to know what rivalries the Magambia has with other schools. Is Sebastian in there? I mean, maybe. You don't know. I wish I could say that I'm above personal rivalries. I've traveled so far and wide, learned so much about cultures that in no way resemble mine, and challenged so many of my preconceptions that I really ought to see the beauty, however misshapen, by misery or misinformation in another's soul. But I've not achieved that level, apparently, for the anger I feel towards Messida Vost is nearly overwhelming. Yes, I know that she's the Dean of Summoning at the Academy in Corvosa, and therefore one of the Convocation's guests. Even just quietly walking around with that thing is quite enough, but how can she think of the solution to lingering demons is releasing even worse fiends to hunt them? I sound like somebody I think I want to know. Someone who's like, I can fix this.
Yeah, I can fix this. Watch.
This is certainly not what I meant when I agreed the Academy of the Reclamation should call on other schools that specialize in summoning, but I must remind myself others can make their own choices. But even in this little paragraph, like you feel the oozing the vibe of the Magambia, which is just like, like learn about other cultures and just be ever so mindful and be ever so understanding. but it does also kind of come off as a little bit hoity-toity, and it makes me laugh. All right, we'll skip. They have some stuff with the Lepidstadt and Ustalav and the Synatosis and Geb, but some cool stuff. Ooh, wait, real quick. There's also the question of whether the representatives from New Thassalon will ever actually show up. Janatimo, shout out to one NPC. Janatimo was quite looking forward to hearing their tales of Sorshan when I got back, but it seems they can't be bothered to arrive on time or even tell the coordinators if they're still coming. Perhaps it's best that we're spared presentations on sin magic, but disappointing my mentor still sings. Sorshan, let's go.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, so let's talk real quickly.
That's all I got for you.
Yeah, really quick spoilers of some later stuff in no anchor route table. I'm so sorry. Although there is, I think that's in the NPC guide. Never mind. There is we're not gonna have time, so I'm not even gonna say if we have time. Never mind. I'm gonna just skip right past that.
We're not gonna have time.
Spoilers for season 2. There is some stuff with Sorshan as we get into the Rune Lords here that goes so perfectly hand in hand with everything I wanted to come of ARC stuff. So I might, when we get to the Rune Lord stuff, talk a little bit about that. But end spoiler. Yeah, you're good.
I mean, remind me, was Sorshan even in the Strength of Thousands adventure path, or was that just your addition?
Okay, back to spoilers. Spoilers on.
Spoilers on. Pause.
The spoilers for the Strength of Thousands adventure path is not one that we got to. She does appear briefly as a side thing. I took that and timesed it by 12.
Yeah. Okay.
But she did show up once, and I was like, oh, hey, I know you. But look at this beautiful tree of stories. So what the Magambians brought to the convocation is their exhibition, which is basically we have endeavored to showcase the history of our school, the legacy of Old Mage Tembe, and the richness and variety that is our home in the Wangi expands. Just past the southern entrance, symbolizing the direction that the Magambia lies, is the Tree of Stories. To present and make present the history of significance of the Magambia, we have chosen to create an immersive illusion of the Elephant Museum. So basically they have a whole bunch of artifacts and displays that make up some of the illusions of what is in the museum back in the Magambia. But that's cool for me because like they didn't really talk all that much about what was in the Elephant Museum on campus in the Strength of Thousands stuff. So True. Maybe there's a little bit more about that here that people can pull from. And then you can get some items as gifts from here. Twig of Knowledge and Memory, Seed Pod of Rooted Wisdom, etc.
Yup.
Anything?
I just thought Masuna Eloe. I didn't even read much about her, but I thought she was really cool. She's a demon hunter.
She's a demon hunter. That's sick. One of the things that I liked here, I did read this little bit. The Tempest Sun Mages, as we know from O&O, are dedicated to the protection in the city of Natambu. But one of the things that is talked about with the NPCs there, one of the NPCs, is that he doesn't want to be a Tempest Sun Mage because he doesn't want to commit to having to be there and protect the campus. He wants to be untethered. But then you look at this person, Masuna, and basically she says while the Tempest Sun Mages are dedicated to the protection of the city, the Magambia has turned its eye towards sharing their battle techniques with distant allies in recent years. This suits Masuna well, as she is not one to sit patiently and wait. She's always out on some excursion into the jungle or sharing an evening of storytelling. So this kind of looks like a route that you can take to say okay, I'm gonna be a Tempest Sun Mage, but I'm gonna travel. So that's just interesting because it kind of
I like it a lot.
Azimbie, this is the one with the cool hair that I saw that I wanted to just at least peek at. Also notice everybody from the Magambia has their wooden animal masks, just like you get from carving them yourself through the campaign. So I think that's really cool. And I think, was there a picture that I missed?
I don't think so.
No, okay, it's coming then. There's a really cool Oh, I think it's like at the very, very top, so I won't go back to it, but it's like the tree has a whole bunch of different masks hanging from it.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was really cool. So who is this NBA? Because I'm interested. As many fans as Masuna has, Azimbie is a prominent member of the Magambia's faculty for many years. Wait, the sentence.
He isn't among her fans.
Non-binary, so they are not among them. Oh, they don't like each other. Okay. I'd like to think it's a simple clash of personalities, for the calm, thoughtful demeanor of Azimbie couldn't be further from Masuna's brash liveliness. Okay, cool. They have a storytelling aim, so each of these have like cool things that if you kind of engage with the NPC, you might get these items from them, basically, is what I'm reading.
Yeah.
Cool. What are they? Taralu dwarf? So the hair is not... It's just an ancestry thing? Interesting.
I mean, ancestry thing. Maybe it's a magical illusion. Maybe it's just colored. Who knows?
Look, it's anchor root. No, it's not. All right, so from Magambia you get the new School of Rooted Wisdom, which is a... Oh, this is the... Okay. So this is like what have been you wanted Waffles to have when we were playing.
Yeah. I thought it would be cool. I didn't specifically want this for Arc, but I thought it was really cool to explain how wizards would learn within the school.
Yes, that makes sense. So you study at the Magambia under one of its traveling professors, learning the ancient magic of Galarian's oldest academy. Your curriculum is self-directed, allowing you to choose the branch of study. If you choose the School of Rooted Wisdom, you gain these. So it's kind of... Wait, from within it, do you pick Cascade Bearers, Emerald Bows, like you would everything else?
Yeah, so they basically called this the trunk. So you get all this stuff, all this curriculum. If you'll notice, there's only one cantrip, one first spell, one second spell.
Right.
And then you also pick a branch, and you get all that curriculum. Another cantrip, another first spell, another second spell.
The tree. Ah, makes sense. Oh, and they have the item for the branch attendant's mask. Although not all attendant's masks are enchanted, many apply a first enchantment to celebrate their acceptance into the branch of the academy. So they even have a spell to imbue in each of these. That's a very nice thing to have if you book. So we went the route of making them, what is the word for those magic items that grow alongside you? Just blinking.
Like artifacts. I don't think that's what it is, but like...
Somebody in chat will save us.
Nar.
But this is, I think, a way that you don't necessarily have to have it be, is it a relic? Might be a relic?
I think relic sounds good.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Artifact, relic, something like that.
Additionally, storytelling spells. I thought that was interesting because there is the tradition of storytelling that is in one of the later books, like 2 or 3 of the Adventure Path, has a bunch of the storytelling kind of like folklores that you can have throughout the region. And if anybody was watching it, I think this was from season 1 or something, so it's not too spoilery, but it's the ibex. They have another depiction of the ibex here, and looking at the spells, the 4 hunters.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
This is a story of 4 evenly matched hunters who sought to capture a falling star. That story is in the book, like the actual full story. So it's a spell now.
Looks like it.
Which is so cool. The Parrot's Whisper is also one. So like they took... Oh, and Ibex's Harvest, yes, is also one. So now they took these like really cool things. So like you're drawing, we Magambians have developed magic that skillfully weaves arcane power from narrative as the caster tells a tale. I wish this was a thing.
Yep.
That'd be such a cooler way to do things. And then plus we skipped one of the tasks that was in the book. Again, spoilers for the book. Which was to go into the city with Janatimo and do like a storytelling competition. Imagine if like I could have flavored that storytelling competition as like, unbeknownst, you start like weaving magic into the story that you're telling. Pretty cool.
It's true.
So pretty cool stuff. Okay, Monastery of Unbreaking Waves. Let's go quickly here. Goals to achieve are to achieve a perfection, quote unquote, through the meaning of this perfection, though the meaning of this perfection is widely argued over, even throughout the monastery itself. For the sick, perfection might be health, or for the hungry, perfection might be a warm meal, etc. It brings a dance of perfection as the present to the convocation. I kind of want to see what that is. Dance of perfection. So is this a more like monk stuff, basically?
Yes, they lean towards the monk stuff, but not always.
The Dance of Perfection. It's a show of breath control, explosive bursts of strength, and extraordinary stamina. That's cool.
Yep. So it's very like the thing they say is you don't hear a lot of like when they're swinging their swords around in this Dance of Perfection or anything, because it's like very quiet. It's very meant to be this like just zen fighting thing.
Cool. Very, very cool. And then we did think that they had the coolest looking NPCs just art wise. So let's quickly look at the Swordmaster Gunheel. That's really cool. Take a look to the arena again. You don't want to miss this. That wild-haired warrior who just stepped in with eyes like blazing flecks of ice. Him in the gold-red kurta and wave-dappled dupatta. That's Swordmaster Gunheel, the originator of our students' arts. He's only 25, but has already invented a new style of weapon techniques and forms for our monastery. Dude's epic.
Yeah.
That's really cool. A ritual. He brings a ritual, Retreat Among the Rains. He developed this ritual to emulate the epiphanies and flowing mental states he experienced during 4718's challenge of sky and heaven. Intense focus, emotional acceptance, dilated perceptions, and growing awareness of elemental perfection. During the casting of this ritual, your thoughts enter a mindscape whose subjective flow of time is different, allowing you to perform retraining that would take at least a week of downtime. That's so cool.
That is very cool.
Your physical body still requires food or shelter during this time, so the secondary caster must nourish you with milk porridge or protect you from elements with a raised parasol or similar item. Very cool. So you go into like a meditative state and retrain for one day instead of a week of downtime.
Hear me out though. Critical failure. As failure, and you also suffer from starvation and thirst as if you hadn't eaten for a week.
Oh no.
Taking 10d4 plus 7 damage.
That's a lot of damage.
That's like an average of, what's 10d4, 24, 7 is like an average of 31 damage almost. That's wild for a level 4 ritual.
Sheesh. From a mechanical and design standpoint, the new spells provide some interesting precedents to writing new spells. Tabletop Obscura, are you talking about the story weaving spells? I apologize if I missed that. I missed sheesh. That made my heart happy. I'm glad. All right. What are we jumping down to? Oh, this dude looks cool too. They all look cool. University of Lepidstadt. Look, look at the aura, the environment immediately. Yes, what's up?
I'm gonna jump in here real quick. There were new monk feats that came out for the Unbreaking Waves. There were new Magus feats for the Magus, and there was the new Resurgent Maelstrom hybrid study for the Magus as well.
Oh, Maelstrom. So are those two separate studies that you could take as a Magus, and that they blend these?
Well, one of them's just Magus feats, like all around.
Yeah.
And then one's the actual study you go into, like Arc study was the book study. So it's like what you flavor your Magus around.
Do you see Shattering Spell Strike? Did you wish you had that as Arc?
I do, yeah. This one, for anyone who cares, is about... I always find these cool. This one's about improvised weapons. So, like, you can pick up a pipe, and then it's about improvised weapons and water, since it's the Monastery of Unbreaking Waves.
This is the Resurgent Maelstrom one you're talking about, the study.
Yeah, the Resurgent Maelstrom study. So, like, you pick up a pipe, but then you form water around that pipe like it's a spear, and you can do a bunch of, like, very flowy type stuff. Like, you can pick if it's slashing or piercing and blah, blah, blah.
Very cool. I think there's a lot of flavor there.
It is.
All right, University of Lepidstadt. Right, introductions. How do you do? Hail and well met, all that. Name's Katerina Derigian. I tried to say that with confidence. I did not know how that was pronounced. Cat to my friends. As long as you're buying the drinks, we're friends. Yes, of those Dirigians, at least I'd say that at Lebenstadt. We have no idea who you are, dude. I love it. Let's see. Goals. Let's kind of summarize.
I read this whole thing like 4 times to try to summarize the goal, and this is what I came up with. Don't kill me if I'm wrong.
Okay, this is already great. Goals are really to study magic and make money. Seems to be an all-around university with many schools and caters to rich kids people who can't go south for magic. Very interesting.
Literally in like their first 3 or 4 paragraphs, they say, well, we started with this is what we wanted to do, but that doesn't make money.
University started out as a place to study antiquities, history, and magic, but soon they learned that, guess what? History and antiquities don't actually pay. I love that, but magic pays. But this is the one where this is the medicine one.
Yeah. Medicine and crafters, basically.
Jacob, all of these schools are on Galarian. Galarian is the world, but they're not all in the same area. They're all like kind of scattered around. So while the Magambia is like the oldest, it is centered in the Mwangi Expanse area, and so all of these are all over everywhere else. I hope that answers your question. So word brings the astonishing engine. Did I skip that already?
This is super cool, so please read it a little.
Ooh, look at it. It's such a different this whole school is a different vibe. All around astonishing engine, a science engine that takes questions and answers them. AI.
Yes, that's literally what I thought. It also reminded me of the Nethys mask.
Yes, that did y'all ever find out who made that? Nope. Do you want to know?
Not right now.
Okay. It's best at math. If you don't ask math, sometimes you may get back an answer or an anguished gibberish that makes you bleed and wake with screaming nightmares for weeks. I love it.
Yep.
Behold, Dr. Ushernacht's astonishing engine, the wonder of the age, a marvel of modern Stashian technology and occult science. Okay, so it's a big cabinet. A fancy cabinet, I guess. Silver inlay and Rowan paneling over an iron core, some coils of wires. But let's be honest, it's a box. It isn't exciting, at least until you turn it on. The interior of the engine's extremely sensitive, so we keep it sealed up. Even if I can't get in there, just a few of you. What's in there? I immediately have to know what's in there.
Yep.
That's sus.
This is what the infiltration we're planning for the next campaign.
Yes, this is a total. Yes. Even I can't get in there. Just a few of Usternacht's assistants in charge of making sure it keeps working. Not that I'd be able to help anyways. It's mostly full of liquid. Okay. That also means it's even heavier than it looks. But assistants keep it topped off and replace the coils when they burn out. Don't get me wrong, they probably do other stuff too. Wires just work a lot differently than veins, so it's not my area. Than veins. Excellent. I think this is a really awesome school, honestly, just in terms of flavor and vibe and everything. They have some things like Dr. Usternacht's astonishing ink. This syrupy ink, smells organic and faintly spoiled. I guess I'm faintly spoiled, y'all. It's tied to one of Usternacht's engines. When you write a question on a sheet of paper using the astonishing ink, handwriting scrawls over the page after 10 minutes, answering with the knowledge it can draw from its engine. So it's like connected to this. Huh. Cool. Yeah, I feel like, not gonna lie, I feel like Ignacy from Strike the Thousands came from here, like vibes with this vibe. Anyways,
I can see that. He's got very vampire vibes, which I give this thing. So
that's true. He got expelled. Sharice's Nephritius Sinkoth. I can't with these names. But I am curious about this magician and why his face looks like that. Is it bad makeup? Is his foundation just not match? Like, is he wearing makeup just a shade, 2, 3, 4 shades darker than he needs to? Like, what's going on here, buddy?
Maybe he messed up his face at one point.
Maybe. All right, 3 things you need to know about Ter. First, he is really, really pretty. Again, it's the makeup. Something about that relaxed, too cool for life attitude, combined with those blue eyes, just makes bad ideas seem surprisingly reasonable. Second, he's quite possibly the most irritating individual I've ever met in my life. We dated for almost 3 months, and by the second month, I was seriously considering bashing his head with a shovel. Third, I trust him with my life, so I'm mostly glad he came. What? What a whiplash.
What a wild individual.
I really think that they did a really good job with, like, here's some interesting NPCs that to float in there. I think that's awesome. But it would take a long time to read every single one's unique characteristics. So we will move on from there. I believe. And I like this. So for a bit of context from Tabletop Obscura on Moonbeam, for a bit of context, Ustalav is currently trying its best not to slip into a recession, and their institutions need money. That's fair. That's valid.
Nice.
I
Okay.
appreciate that.
And then Lepidstadt comes with a bunch of magical items because that's kind of what they do, and then a surgeon archetype.
Well, not just items, gadgets.
It says gadgets, but they're all magical items. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it goes in gadgets are gadgets are a tag.
Oh, you're right.
They're
you're
consumable technology and technological innovations as described in Guns and Gears. So I just think that's cool. So a lot of cool.
I've not looked into Guns and Gears a lot. That's my bad.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So you have the surgeon archetype, Lepidstadt surgeon. To be a surgeon is akin. Okay, what a strong start. To be a surgeon is to be akin to a god. In your hands is the power of life and death. Scary.
Are they wrong?
But they went hard on
They did
the
with
flavor. Again, very Frankenstein, because I'm just going to read you the names of each of these feats in this dedication. Enlightening life. Rise, my creature. Artery map. Let my creature live. Beautiful knife work. Behold my creation. When you have exclamation marks in the name of a feat, you're doing good.
It's very Guns and Gears to have exclamation marks, honestly.
Yes. Stand back, I'm a doctor. And then a miracle of science. Which is the prerequisite to behold my creation. I love it. Vice versa. That's great.
The first sentence of the dedication's my favorite, so I'm gonna read it. Before everything else, before the blood and the monsters and the station technology and the horror, you're a doctor.
You are, in fact, an exceptionally good doctor. I could already. There was a character that we played with that I could totally see this being like the perfect archetype for.
Yeah.
The only thing that I do think of, so it's hard to really. With Pathfinder, there's so many books that come out all the time. It is very difficult to fully stay on top of everything, like the names of archetypes and stuff like that. In the context of this is the University of Lipstadt, we just read about it. We know that there's doctor stuff. We know there's medical stuff. And then I look at Lipstadt surgeon and I'm like, okay, I get the vibes, right? Especially reading up on the names of these feats. But, and this is a relatively okay one, but I just have this like thing where when I make a character and I go looking at Archives of Nethys or anything like that to pick an archetype or to pick, my backgrounds or things like that, the naming convention is hard for me always to know what actually it is. So like, I wouldn't know that Lepidstadt surgeon has this connotation is all.
Yeah. Unless you read it all, yeah. I agree with you. Yeah, it's very built around Pathfinder society, in my opinion.
Fair, very fair. Okay, so that's the it for the sponsors. Again, these are the main schools. It is not the only school/people that come to this convocation. So there is this whole invitees section. What snake that is? Yes, it's pretty. It's cool.
And it is. It's huge. It's like 80 pages.
Yes. So there's a lot of very cool people here. So Waffles, do you know, I was just curious about this part. Invitees by school what is that? Is that the people listed here? Like, I'm trying to figure out what this is.
So they go into it. The very quick and dirty of it is your 6 big schools are sponsors. They wanted to do way more than that, so they sent invites out to basically anyone and everyone that they could that they thought they should belong here. And those are the invitees. And so it goes all the way from the small spoiler, the Rune Lord school to individuals that just like deserve to be here.
Okay. But this table is what I'm referring to. Invitees by school.
Yeah, what are you asking specifically about it?
Well, the names are not the names that are here, so I don't understand unless they are, and I'm confused.
They are. I'm pretty sure they are. They're just in alphabetical order.
Did I catch a spelling mistake then? Because this is Asara and this is Asra. Just saying.
Maybe. No, Asara's there too. Halls of Revelation Asara on the invitee list.
Oh, well. All right. My bad. I tried. Okay. Really, really awesome things, but again, so much.
Sorry. You did catch a spelling mistake. I see where you're looking now.
Oh.
I'm proud of you.
I did it. I did a thing, guys.
On the left it is Asar Fleethoof, and then when you scroll down it's here they do it twice. They say Asra Fleethoof, and then but on the right it's Asara, and then when you scroll down it's Asara. Interesting.
Where's the scroll down Asara one?
The first page when you're gonna get into the NPCs and they go into everyone individually.
Yeah, so again, I'm on page 97 because I have a split screen here. It doesn't matter. All right, we're not here to talk about spelling mistakes, but if y'all want to let Paizo know,
you'll see it. I promise.
Pretty sure this is the first archetype to give a construct companion. Ooh, missed that. That's cool.
Hi, Witch Queen Olivia. Happy Purim.
Oh, happy Purim. Where am I looking? There's somebody.
Twitch.
Oh, I literally just am blind. Hi, welcome in. All right. So we're not gonna go through everybody here. That's just too much, unfortunately. But it is. It's Asara again here.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh.
That scroll down.
Oh, and then I look to my right. That's really scary. That's really creepy. I don't like it. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna look at it. Bloodstone doll. Oh, where are you from? Direct descendant of the great Baba Yaga through our first queen, a winter witch. Ah, she's spooky. Everybody, look into her eyes. Let's do this.
Interesting. The Bloodstone doll is like a anti-summoning spell.
We will stare together. An anti-what? Summoning spell?
Summoning consumable. It says if the spell would be counteracted, the Bloodstone doll instead influences. So you make a counteract check. If the spell would be counteracted, the Bloodstone doll instead influences the summoned creature. You gain control of the summoned creature and can dictate its 2 actions for that turn. The triggering creature regains control of their summon, but the summoned creature takes a -2 to everything else, like all attack rolls against you. So you for the first round, if you use this doll, you get their summoned creature.
Cool. Creepy and cool. I'd say take a hero point, but you still have 1,000,000. Don't worry, it'll reset. It'll reset for the new campaign. I'll start with 0 and quickly attain at least 500.
Quickly get another 1,000,000.
But Waffles and I will share hero points, so.
True. And I'll use them, unlike her. So.
It's true. He doesn't pull punches. This person's so cool. This is just like as fun as me going through the NPC core because I just look at all of the cool pictures. Is she a hive? Is she just a hive? She's a hive.
You're gonna get stuck and have to read all of these.
No, I won't. Look at the goblin with the hobgoblin with the gems all over them. This is so cool. All right, I'm sorry. The art, y'all. The art is amazing. Oh, look. Is a snake.
Is a snake.
Right. They brought a vampire to the convocation from I glanced at this one earlier. From Geb. So she shows up and she's just like, "Yes, I'm a vampire. Chill."
Yes, I'm a vampire. Don't hurt me.
Okay, I think we're getting to the climax of what we were super hyped about anyways, which is talking about our lovely rune lords and the Sahedrin. So the name of the school, so to speak, that the rune lords are coming from is called Sahedrin Spires. And look at these little just carefree fucks, for lack of a better term. They're just they crack me up. Why are the rune lords? Oh, that's /s. Never mind. Sorry, I was like, that's a genuine question. Let me answer. Okay, so this is the part that we love, for not just because we knew that from the O&O show arc to Waffles' character what was heading in that direction, but rather because we just really like it. I don't know, from when we first read the lore, Waffles really started it. Just really like it.
The first campaign I ran, like, for anyone in Pathfinder 2 was all based around the Seven Sins and the Rune Lords and stuff, and it was great.
It's pretty awesome. I'm gonna read the little first bit because of just the tone. You gotta, when I curse at these guys lovingly, this is why. What? Yeah, we're here for the Six Schools Convocation. Somebody named Biaisha sent a letter last year, and Professor Zada told him we were coming. I already even sent like a couple letters to follow up, but we didn't ask him to get anything ready for us. Apparently he thought we might get here a couple weeks ago, but who shows up to the party right away? And when a professor of sloth is overseeing transportation, you know how it goes. Or I guess you might not. People actually misunderstand a lot, giving a little chuckle when they talk about the College of Lust or thinking wrath makes you hate everyone. Sin magic is about using the language of the universe. You do it too. You just don't realize. Those runes that appear around your hands when casting a spell, that's the underpinnings of reality, or whatever the teachers want to call it. We're using the same runes as you, just with more focus, which means more power. The runes of the Sahedrin happen to be the most powerful and universal runes, so we call them the runes of rule. And the underpinnings of the universe turn out to be heady stuff. When you use those runes, the words, you feel the entire concept flowing through your body. Casting magic through the lust rune is like having a crush, and then that moment of realizing they like you back. Maybe even more. That moment, pure and undiluted, with none of the complications of making it work or knowing it'll end someday. So yeah, we tend to use our magic a lot. It's not an addiction, like people keep claiming, but you won't find many of our students going to bed with spells unused. To quote my favorite professor, it's not like the spells pay you rent. That means it can look like Wrath students lose their temper at the first sign of stress, but it's more that any problem they can solve with fire or lightning is really just an opportunity. Or for students of Lust, someone's mind is getting changed today. It's just a question of who and how. Like, come on.
Yep.
Come on, y'all. This is so good. I love them. I hate them and I love them at the same time. I'll go a little bit more because we're going to talk about Queen Sorshan real soon. It was mind-blowing to listen to because I was like, damn, yeah. Lust is my favorite, of course. I mean, you're supposed to pick a rune and stick with it, but most of us try using different runes to start out just to see what clicks. Lust is also the largest college at the Sahedrin Spires. But I think that's mostly because Lust is the rune Queen Sorshan ruled over back during ancient Thassalon. The rest of the schools are about even, except Envy. If anyone wants to be that miserable, they should probably go to Arcanium Abjurant and Zinedasuriel instead. It's not that we have a rivalry exactly, although the Queen did once say something about how its students should be proud of getting accepted where Belimarius never could. I really need to ask them about that at some point. So it goes into more of this, but it's so cool and so interesting.
Too good.
To me, I think what I really like about it is the concept of like the sins and the virtues and how magic kind of like pulls you into that. Like they even say even the gnawing hunger of gluttony has to be better than knowing exactly how flawed you really are, right? Which is envy. That's what you get when you cast magic through the rune of envy. wizards from Zinadaceril, which is Zinadaceril is in the lore. When New Thassalon came through, there was two places. Queen Sorshan, though, turned to good, so to speak, and Zinadaceril is where the Loon Lord. I am done. Apparently,
That was a good one.
let's just
Clip it.
no, that's good. I'm just talking too much. I apologize. That is where the Rune Lord of Envy is, and kind of holes up right now. So far as we've seen, is not interacting with the world. So, yes, this is the one area of lore that I know the most of. Also, gal pals with Nocticula, correct? Thank you.
True.
So here's the Sahedron that y'all may have seen a little bit of in on the inside of Ark's mask for things from O&O. I have a question that says, "Oh no, spoilery." Ask it, Jacob.
Ask it. Worst you'll get is nah. All right, while we're waiting though, we keep going. Rune Lord rare class archetype.
Yes. So, one of the things with the Rune Lords and pre-remaster was the fact that they were off of the schools of magic. They based off of different schools of magic. So when the schools of magic went away with the remaster, everyone was like, "What do we do with Rune Lords?" And
All right, we got a question.
Yes. So this is finally how we're redoing that. So I want to get into that. Queen Sorshan, not even close, is the one we saw in the mirror. Yeah, it is indeed. Queen Sorshan took a unique interest to Ark for reasons. That's the end of the spoiler.
For reasons.
It is a rare class archetype. So that's always the one thing with Rune Lord, is that the prerequisite is you must be a wizard. Which, like, yes, it makes sense, but for Ark, who is a magus, I really wanted it to work with magus, because it was like they're like half wizards. So we did do a little homebrew on that side, but it does make sense as well that it's the prerequisite for a wizard.
Yeah, and like now that they've come up with this, I think I could have taken wizard and an archetype and like this archetype instead.
You think it would have worked the way you wanted to?
Yeah, because like it's Rune Lord adjustments. You become trained in martial polearms and spears. Like that's one of the reasons I wanted the archetype instead of a thesis. You gain a personal rune. Your personal rune also affects your arcane bond. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot. Sorry.
So no, you're good. The interesting things, and I think this was the case prior to remaster. This is the part that I don't fully remember. Each sin is opposed by two others. The incompatibility of these sins means that casting magic philosophically appropriate to those opening sins are represented by each school's anathema, and it interrupts your own connection to your own sin and blah, blah, blah. So you can't do all, like, you can't go every way.
Yeah.
But I think it's very, very cool. And then it has its own, because it's a wizard archetype, it has its own school for wizards. Now, Waffles, did you look at this?
I did, in depth.
School of Thessalonian Rune Magic. Is that a school that you can take as a wizard, or is it only a school you can take through the archetype?
Only a school you can take through the archetype.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So it says can be learned only by wizards with the Rune Lord class archetype, in like the first sentence.
Okay. In Secrets of Magic, there was a lovely letter penned by Queen Sorshan in her voice, talking about each of the runes and their emotions and their sin and like their feeling of things. So it's cool. It was all in her voice though. So it's cool to see here like the sort of like summary of each of the runes. Just like envy. It reveals weakness in yourself and others, creating those weaknesses when you need to humble those who dare surpass you. Gluttony, deep emptiness in its users, encouraging them to consume with nothing ever feeling like enough. So they just put their own spells instead of it being all spells from a particular school is basically how I see they did this. And they fit it into the way the magic schools or wizard schools work. And I think that is perfect, honestly. And then you can always like flavor for some homebrew stuff if you need to, what fits in where. I think that's awesome.
Yep. Which I really like it. The last paragraph here says, unlike other wizards, some of your curriculum spells may be spells that don't typically appear on the arcane spell list, marked with an asterisk. You still can cast these spells as arcane spells, the unifying knowledge of sin, bridging the gap between disparate magics. So you have like this curriculum that is like part arcane, part occult, part this, part that, because that it all unifies within the sin.
You're breaking down to the core runes that make magic, and it surpasses any one spell list.
Yep.
I think that's super, super cool. Also, some Runelord feats. Is this part of the... Oh, yeah, this is all still the school. So this is like the feats you get from the archetype. Yeah, sorry. It's just
Yeah. You start with dedication. You can get others, blah, blah, blah.
So quick spoiler for O&O, because it's over now and we will never get to learn this. So I don't mind sharing this a little bit. But if you don't want to hear it, that's totally fine. Embed Aeon Stone is now a part of the Runelord feats, which I think it was as well.
It was.
But we, at the very, very beginning, when we saw Arc 2's mentor, Ishka, come into the Magambia, or come into the school, when they were fighting, there was a flash of like some stone like thing in their stomach, like embedded in their stomach. So that was an embedded Aeon Stone, for those that wanted to know. I thought that was a cool thing that I'd stick in there to show her connection to the Runelords. Okay, and then we have all sorts of really cool new spells as well. Focus spells.
Most of these are per the school.
Per the school. Look, it's the Ing, the last avatar. Oh no, I knew I ruined my makeup. Oh, no, I touched my nose.
Oh my gosh.
Thessalonian spells. So this is not this is brought from the school. This is no longer part of the archetype, or is this part of the archetype still, the Thessalonian spell section?
Let's see, characters who go to that academy or have the Runelord class archetype have access to these spells. So it looks like they're old Thessalonian spells that you can learn at the Sahedron Academy, or if you got the Runelord archetype, it's kind of what they're putting, what the wall is behind. But it's not attached to classes or anything like that. Cool.
Very, very cool. So I'm just very excited to have Runelords back officially. I really think it was a good way to handle this. Arcane Bond and Personal Rune, I just want to glance at that real quick. Runelords hail from an era where even a scholar was expected to be able to defend themselves with arms if necessary, leading to the practice of attaching a blade to the typical wizard staff. You must choose a polearm or spear as your arcane bond in place of an arcane thesis. You have a Personal Rune, which appears on your bonded weapon. The weapon functions as a staff with charges equal to the highest rank of spells you can cast and contains the sin spells from your sin up to that rank. Your Personal Rune is not a property rune and does not count against the weapon's limit of such runes. Very cool. That's just the part for the handling why they have speary thingies. You know? That's the word.
Yeah.
Alarm. It was literally right there.
Speary thingies.
Speary thingies. Any comments from you, Waffles, about the Runelord stuff? Anything cool that you want to
I think it's a better encapsulation of what the Runelord should be. I still personally think Magus is like a nice 50-50 way to go about it, being able to cast spells through melee strikes and stuff. But
like we think doing a Runelord archetype through Magus because you have your polearm.
Well, you can't.
No, but like in an alternative like way they could have handled this.
Yeah, I think so. Not even an archetype through Magus. I think they should have just opened. This should be open to wizards and Maguses, honestly.
I can see that for sure. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And then in the last section at the very end, it talks about running the convocation. So it's interesting because like they didn't have it at the start. I thought it was interesting to have this at the end, but I guess it kind of makes sense in terms of the flavor of everything. And this really just gives you all sorts of different things that you can do from a GM perspective, for campaigns or one shots or whatever centered on the convocation. At a glance, let's look. There's Day by Day, which talks about, small pieces of adventure, the joy of knowledge, because there's so much knowledge to be had here, stakes of research, romance in the air, dangerous discoveries. Let's look at dangerous discoveries, bandits, security force. Okay.
These are mostly just go into like rules to, in my opinion, run this as a game, like as a
you have to run a campaign in it. Yeah. But I was glancing at these because I was curious if our idea was in here. And not quite. I mean, Dangerous Discoveries is like probably the closest, but it's talking about protecting and not infiltrating.
Yeah.
But I think that's super, super cool. Connections, as much as knowledge, then the convocation's about forming connections. What are these tokens? Did you happen to glance at those?
I did not go into it a lot, honestly.
Is it a literal token?
It's a literal token. Like I akin them to like in the military, you can have like little coins that you hand between people that respect each other and stuff.
Huh. That's a cool way to do it. I actually kind of like that.
Yeah.
Consequences of connections means you're associated with somebody. That's cool. And then what's this table here on 123? Sponsor school, class examples, special ed examples. So what is this? This is in regards to free archetypes.
Free archetype / any way. It's really any way to, like, if you were going to the Academy of Reclamation, it would be best to be a wizard or ranger, and you could
the
take
ones that kind of bond the best with each of the academies. Kind of what we were talking about.
Yeah, and then like Blessed One, Campfire Chronicle are archetypes, obviously, and so
yeah, makes sense. And Druid Wizard from Agambia, that's what we know from. Yeah, that's cool. I think honestly, overall, like, vibes of this, I think it's a very, very flavorful thing that makes, not just to what Tabletop Obscura said earlier, which is like story wise being used to talk about lore of the world wound and kind of what's coming from there, but also you get so many pockets of all over Galarian because of all the schools from all over. So I think it's just very rich and very flavorful and a really, really interesting setting. Reading through this makes me want to play a game in here for sure. So I think it's a really cool one.
That's how I was. Like the first time I read through it, I was like, all right, new setting for my campaign. Woo.
Yep. Love it. Okay, cool. So I think we've reached a good point here with the book. Timing wise, this is, I was gonna say if we had the time, which I should have known better to even think about this, which is I would say we'll scroll through the NPC core and look at cool pictures together, but I don't think we have the time for that, so we won't. That's okay. I will also say that I suppose it's time to talk a little bit about Golem, which is really...
It's time.
Yes. So for everybody that's stuck around to listen to this, I really appreciate it. We're so excited. So we are well on our way. We've been working so hard behind the scenes for Golem. We've been quiet and our heads down, honestly, mostly because of that. We have overlays, we have art in the making, we have everything coming together to make an amazing new show for y'all. If you're not familiar with what Golem is our upcoming Pathfinder 2e and Starfinder 2e campaign, because we're setting it up to seamlessly flow into the Starfinder, or intermingle with Starfinder as soon as that's released. So we're really, really excited. We're hoping to be the front runners in a double system game. It's also a story that's going to tell uniquely Jewish stories, and I'm really, really excited for that. So coming up soon, we're going to have our cast announcements, so keep an eye on our socials. We're going to have character announcements as soon as the art's ready, everything leading up to our very first premiere session, which is going to be Tuesday, April 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern time, typical time that you've usually seen us at, but we're going to be doing bi-weekly Tuesdays now. So I'm very excited, and now now it's out there, so we'll announce it on socials as well for anybody that happens to miss this. April 8th is the premiere for Golem. We're really excited, and we hope you mark your calendars and help support us by showing up for the premiere live, and likewise thanks to the stress test. It will be on YouTube and Moonbeam and Twitch for all of y'all's viewing pleasures. Thank you to everybody who joined us on Moonbeam today, specifically to help us test everything and make sure everything looked good. We'll talk with y'all after the stream as well for any additional stuff to make sure that we don't miss anything.
We got in Twitch chat. I told my dad that I was watching Jewish ttrpg creators tonight, and he immediately asked if there were any golems.
Indeed, there will be. That's exciting.
An entire show.
Indeed. Well, I'm so excited. Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. Is there anybody actually, I don't know how this is gonna work with rating, because that's really only gonna be on Twitch.
I'm not gonna mess with it right now, so
okay, that's fine. I think we'll just wind down then. Thank you all again so much for hanging out with us. Chag Purim Sameach, באמת. Happy Purim. So thank you for spending your Purim with us. We love y'all, and we will see y'all very soon with some Golem stuff. Bye!
I can't. Bye!